the word on the street is that Porsche is the most reliable German car. From a guy that's had, I don't know, what have I had, 13 Porsches over the past 20 years. I would say they're definitely one of the most reliable. Definitely not the most expensive to fix. And it seems like you could actually drive it and not have all this nitpicky stuff going on, right? And it seems to be the growing thing. Like this car, we've done maintenance to it, but nothing was the car's fault. Even the transmission weirdness, that was from somebody that put the wrong fluid in it, right? It might break the transmission one of these days. I'm okay with it, right? Like, not that expensive. It's like $1,200 for a good one, for a low mileage one. Since the parts aren't known to fail, they tend not to cost a lot in a used market. Now, if you grenade the engine, well, that's a little different story. And a lot of the Porsche engines start around $7-8 grand and go up, right? So, is Porsche the most reliable car out of the German cars? You know, in the past, I've had, 12 or 13 911s, and this is the second Cayman I've had. I have to say, you could definitely drive it anywhere you want and not have to worry a lot about something going wrong and leaving you sit. Overall, they're made very well. The build quality is very high on them. A lot higher than a lot of other German cars, I would have to say. The drawback of all this is they do cost a lot more, right? And that is a pretty big drawback for a lot of people. So you have to look at a lot of different aspects of it. And another thing too, everybody's making fun of my Tiptronic transmission instead of being a manual. But watch anybody could drive it. I mean, that's the whole thing about it. The manual, it makes enough power. Let me get in high gear so it's not droning. It makes enough power to where if it's a manual, you have to know how to shift it very quickly, especially taking off in first. And a lot of guys have messed the 1-2 shift up. You know, I don't know. And the problem we have with shifter cables that we had with these cars in the past, the Tiptronic is just, it's not dual clutch, no, and it never was meant to be. But as far as automatic transmissions, it's definitely one of the faster shifting ones. You know, when they use this in the 5HP19 ZF box, which is what this is, when they use this in BMWs, the non-transaxle version, they use a different valve body, and it was a slower shifted transmission. They fixed a lot of that in these cars, and it can be a very decent transmission. I think you could actually get tunes for them, but we haven't gone on that road. Maybe we will. All right, so pretty much the Porsche, the build quality for the interior and exterior are awesome, and you can see everything on the dash lines up correctly. Obviously, this one has carbon fiber pieces that are aftermarket. Those are never going to be as good as the factory ones. But you can tell everything, the carpets, the leather seats on the Porsche rarely ever have a problem unless you kneel in them, unless it's convertible and you leave the top down, it gets rained on. As a general rule of thumb, they hold up very well. What you don't have all the electronic problems that you have in a lot of other cars. The BMWs are just horrifying about all these electronic issues, cloning this computer, cloning that computer. Stuff goes bad just for no absolute reason whatsoever. Transmission computers go bad, and we just don't see that with the Porsche stuff. So where that gets you, if you actually want to drive the car and enjoy it, and you don't want to spend a bunch of time at a dealer or try to find somebody that's going to be able to clone a computer or ECU, there's no programming, there's none of that stuff. It's a possibility you might have to do that, but that's very unlikely. You know, it seems like even the base model Porsches get the better brakes, they get, everything's just very nice on the cars. You don't have the front end parts issues, you don't have any of those issues that you would find with other cars, right? Now the Mercedes so far has been really good, but you can see a few things on that car at a pretty low 80,000 miles that probably shouldn't be wrong, that are wrong on it. Not a big deal if you know to work on stuff. We're definitely going to fix that. But it was just my 2 cents about it. So is Porsche the most reliable German car? In my opinion, it very much so is. So that's going to be it, guys. Hope you liked the video. If you leave a video, even if you don't like it, go leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. That gives us a judgment of who's watching and what's going on. So if we need to change stuff for the better or for worse, we know what to do. That's it. See you later.